Yes. Good afternoon, boys and girls. I'm recording the afternoon. Well, good evening, boys and girls. Those who are watching from far. Today we're going to look at finance, June 2022, Eastern Cape, paper 1. Question number 6. 6.1 says, how long must 50,000 rand be invested in order for it to be doubled at an interest rate of 8.5% per annum on a straight line method? Give your answer in years and also in months. 6.2 says, a cell phone valued 24,000 depreciates at 18% per annum on a reducing balance method. So the underlying word here will be a reducing balance method. Here the underlying word is a straight line method of appreciation. It's not depreciation. Here the money is going to go up. Here it is coming down. So determine the value of the cell phone after 3 years. In 6.3, the X rand as in the rand, is invested. That means we don't know how much was invested into an account at an interest rate of 12% per annum compounded monthly. 3 years later, 2x is deposited into the same account. First of all, after 7 years, there is 276,558 rand and 75 cents in the account. Determine how much was invested at the beginning. That is the value of X. So we have this question. Always click the middle. So we have this question to look at it. So to start with, we will start with question number 6.1. Now, when we talk about straight line method, we say A is equal to P into bracket 1 plus I times N. That is a straight line method, not depreciation. Yeah? That means the money is going up, it's appreciating, not depreciation. So straight line method is A equals to P into bracket 1 plus I to the 1 plus IN. Yeah. This is the one that goes together with compound interest formula. But when it is a straight line method, we use this one. Because it said, how long must 50,000 be invested in order for it to double? So it means this, our data, you need some small data in finance to check what you are looking for and what is given. What is given here? We are given that the amount invested, which is the principal amount, must be how much? 50,000 rand. And then after the investment period, it must be doubled. So it means our accumulated amount will be 100,000 rands. It's a language. Okay. So if I have 50,000 deposited into a certain account, how long must it take for it to be doubled? So it means at the end of my investment, I'm looking forward for 50,000 times 2. You understand? And so that is your accumulated what? Amount. And then they gave you at an interest of how much? 8.5%, 8.5% per annum. So you just need to change this 8.5% is 8.5 divided by 100, which will give you 0.085, right? Check on the calculator for me. It's going to be 0, so our I is 0.085. Is that so? Good, my guess is right. So now, this is what we have. We need to use it to solve the question, and we leave our answer in years and in months. And it's 4 marks, so we mustn't forget it. So now, we come here, we copy our formula A equals to P into bracket 1 plus I times N. This is a straight line method of appreciation, not depreciation. When the money is going up, you are appreciating. When you are coming down, you do what? You depreciate. Eh? So now, here is our 100K, 100,000 is equals to 50,000 into bracket 1 plus I, which is 0,085 times N, which we don't know. Eh? That also.
Yes, sir.
So we have to solve N. So here what do we do? Divide by 50,000. Divide here by 50,000. So this will cancel this, and this will give us 2. 100,000 divided by what? 50,000 is what? 2. Eh? So 2 is equals to 1 plus 0,085 N. Transpose this 1 to this side, and it becomes 1 is equals to, about 2 minus 1 is going to be 1. 1 is equals to 0,085 N. We're solving for N. So divide by 0,085, divide here by 0,085. And this will cancel that. Therefore, what is our N? N is equals to 11,76. 76470. And so how many years is that? And how many months is that? The question says write it in years and also in months. So it's 11 whole years. And then you say 0,76470 times 12. And let's see how many months are there. If you want to know the months, use the comma 76470 multiply by 12. It gives you 9 months. Okay. So here, this is the same as 11 years. 9 what? Months. So, have you seen how to change from years and then also to look at the months? So all the comma that is on top of it, after the 11 whole years, what do? You take 0 comma, and then you take the numbers and you multiply by 12 to change to months. Okay? So you don't go and write 11,76 months. Ne? So you the comma, after the decimal point, every decimal point is like 0 comma. So you take all this and you multiply by 12 with the comma. 76470 times what? 12, and that gives you 9 months. Those commandondo is days, which is okay. So this is what we have for the question 6.1. It's 11 years, 9 months. Can we go to the next question quickly? The next question says a cell phone value. Is there somebody writing? A cell phone valued. A cell phone valued 24,000 rands. That means this machine was bought. Sorry. This cell phone was bought some time ago. And at the time they were buying the cell phone, they bought it for 24,000 rands. And the question says it depreciates at how much? 18% per annum on a reducing balance method. Reducing balance is the same as diminishing balance. It's also known as the what? Diminishing balance. So if you go to exams and they change this reducing balance and put diminishing balance, is the same. Okay. And that is what we call depreciation. Depreciation happens because of aging. If you buy something for a long time, the value will not be the same as you bought it. Because why? It might have some dents, it might have gone through repairs, and all those things. So it's a second hand. And so you cannot get the value of that cell phone as you bought it. So it has to go down. Okay. So now we are going to calculate using the method called reducing. There are two methods. One is a straight line method, the opposite of this one that we use to calculate the first question. And then one is reducing balance method, which says A equals to P into bracket 1 minus I to the power n. This formula is given to you on the formula sheet, so you get to make use of it to your advantage. Now, the money that they bought a cell phone for. So here your data, collect some data and use it in the formula. Your P is equal to how much? 24,000. That's the amount invested. And then your I was given at an interest rate of 18%. Remember they said compounded. Was there any compound? The difference is 18% per annum, just like that, right? On the reducing balance method. So it's 18%. You got to change it into decimal. 18 over 100 is 0,18. 0, what? 18. After decimal point, we don't say 18, we say 18. Digit after digit. And then after 3 years, so that means the period that it lasted for was 3 years. Right? So our n is equal to 3 years. Okay. So what do you think we are lacking here in this information? A. Determine the value of the cell phone after 3 years. So A is the question we are looking for. So you see, you've drafted everything. So the one that is missing is what you are looking for. So you put a question mark on it. So you've gone through the formula, you've seen everything they give you. The one that you're not finding is what you are looking for. So you use what you have to find what you don't have. So our P is what? 24,000 into bracket 1 minus I is now 0,18 to the power of 3. And so when we are solving this, yes, what do we do? What did you get? To give you what? 13,282. 32. 8 cents. 80, ne? Okay, 13,232.80 cents. Now, what it means is that this cell phone was bought for 24,000, but because the person used it, when you want to go and sell it, the value of the cell phone now will be 13,232.80 cents. That's all they wanted. Finish. Any question? So anytime examiner give you a question, you must just go to the formula sheet and copy the right formula for the right way at the right time. And you do a small data there to check from the statement what was given and what was not. So what was not given is what you are finding. So you use what you have to find what you don't have. Finish. Okay. So that question is done. Let's get it out. And go to the Almighty Killer. The question here is saying that X rand, that means certain amount of money was invested into a certain account. At an interest rate of 12% per annum. We don't know that money, how much was invested. That's why we call it X rand. Because X is not a value of a money mostly. It's just X as a letter. So, and they said it was compounded monthly. 3 years later, another 2X rand was invested. Another money was what? Put into the same account 3 years later. This time the money was doubled, 2X. You get it? After 7 years, they realized that this is the money they have achieved, accumulated in the account. From the first investment to the second investment, when you put them together, it gives you this sum to take home. Determine how much was invested at the beginning. That is the value of X. So here we can only do this question if we know what we call timeline. Yeah? And then we check our investment periods. Let's say here is T7 because this money was gained at the end of the 7 years. Right? So it means the investment lasted for how long? 7 years. So timeline, we start with T0 to T1. That is 1 year. Yeah? T0 to T1 is what? 1 year. Then T2, T1 to T2 is another 1 year, making it 2 years, right? Then we go to T3. Here, you can see that another investment was made. Then here is T4. That makes 4 years. T5, 5 years. T6, 6 years, and T7. You can see what is happening there. At the end of this investment, how much did we have? 276,558.75 rand was in this account by the end of 7 years. Is that also? After 7 years, we had that money. So now, let's see what is happening here. On T0 means on the first day the person entered the bank to do the savings. It's not yet a year. So from T0 to T1 is 1 full year. Are you with me? How much was invested into the account? X rand. Finally. Now 3 years later, he deposited what? 2X into this account. Now let's see how this investment was done. This X rand lasted for how many years in the account? How many years was this initial deposit? How many years did it stay in the account? It stayed in the whole 7 years because it didn't do a withdrawal of the investment. This X rand will stay for how long? From the whole 7 years period. It will stay there. So here your N will be 7 for this X rand. Because there were 2 investments, but in the same account. There were how many investments done here? 2 in 1. Now this 2X rand, how long did it stay in the account? From the year, after 3 years, Mosanditi, to which year? To 7. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it stays for how long? N will be 4 years for this point. Are you following? Is it everything okay? So now, when we are here, we need to find compound interest because they said it's compounded monthly. Ne? So here our principal amount is X rand for this one. There are two investments, so we're going to calculate both of them and add them together to give us that money. Are you with me? So my P into bracket 1 is a compound interest plus I to the power N plus another P into bracket 1 plus I to the power N. This must give us, when we add these two, it gives us what? 276,558.75 cents. Now I need to know what was my principal amount for the initial deposit, initial investment. It was X rand into bracket 1 plus I. How much percentage interest? They said it's 12% per annum compounded. Compounded what? Monthly. So if you compound monthly, then I must be divided by 12 after it has been changed to decimal. Are you with me? So compounded monthly means you divide I by 12 and you multiply N by 12 also. Do you hear me? If you compound monthly, there are 12 months in a year. So your interest must be divided by 12 and your number of years must be multiplied by 12 to change it to months. Are you with me? So if it is compounded quarterly, what do? In quarterly, how many quarters do you have in a year? You have 4 quarters. So if the question says compounded quarterly, your I will be divided by 4. After you have changed I into decimal, you divide it by 4 again. Ne? And if you divide I by 4, N will be multiplied by 4. If it is compounded semi-annually, compounded half yearly, compounded what? Half yearly. Or they say semi-annually. How many halves do we have in a year? Only 2. Every 6 months is a half of a year. Another 6 months, half of another year. So there are 2 halves. In that case, your I will be divided by 2. And your N will be multiplied by 2. What about compounded daily? Compounded daily. How many days are there in a year? So in this case, your I will be divided by 365 and your N will be multiplied by 365. So these are the compounding periods and how you do it in exam. So if the examiner says compounded monthly, it simply tells you that after you change your interest rate, you must also divide it by 12 and change the number of years into months. The number of years you use for the investment, convert it into months. Are you following? By multiplying by 12. So now when I come here, they give me 12%. 12% is 0.12. That is, if I change 12%, it's 12 over 100. It gives me 0.12 and it must be divided by 12. I put it like that. And here should be N. I said, how many years did they invest in this X rand? How many years did this X rand stay in the account? 7 years. So it means you multiply 7 times 12. And what is 7 times 12? What is 7 times 12? 84. So can I quickly change this and write 84 straight away? So here will be 84 months. It's going to be what? 84 months. Because it's 7 times 12 months, that gives you 84 months. This money stayed in the account for 84 good months. Are you following? And then we say plus. What is the principal for the second investment? How much did he put in the account? 2x. Ne? So in the second investment, which was put in the account after 3 years, was what? 2x. And this 2x was invested for how long? Go from here to 7 years will only last in the account for 4 years. So you need to know your investment periods. So here is still 1 plus I. The interest didn't change. Sometimes they say the interest changes, but here the interest did not what? Change. So it's still 12%, which is 0.12 divided by what? 12, because it's still compounded what? Monthly. The investment terms did not change. To the power n. What is our n here? 4 times 12 will give us what? 48 months. Because here we said the duration for the investment between these two is 4 years. So it's 48 months here. All this must be in one bracket because it's like that. I hope you see what is happening there, right? So from here, let me clean and have a space here. If I am here now, they said everything here is equal to, at the end of the 7th year or after the 7th year, this is the amount they got, 276,558,75. Comma what? 75. So now we need to solve for this. Okay. Now you can simply take your. They say we must solve for the initial investment, which is the value of x and it. So here is x, here is plus, here is 2x. Take a common factor between these two in this bracket. What is the common factor here? The common factor is x. That's the only thing that is common here. Because this is exponent 84, 48. They are not the same. So the common factor, I see x here, I see x there. I'm solving for x, don't forget. So I factorize x out. If I open a bracket and I factorize x out, what will be left? I'll be left with 1 plus 0.12 over 12 to the power 84. Then plus what will be here? 2 into bracket 1 plus 0.12 over 12 to the power 48 like this equals to 276,558,75 like that. Now I'm solving for x, so I will divide everything by this side. You get that? I'm solving for x, so x is now multiplying. So I need to divide. You can do what is inside this bracket together now. You type into bracket, open a bracket, you say into bracket 1 plus 0.12 over 2f, close the bracket, raise it to the power 84. I want you to do the sum for me because I got no calculator. And let's see. So in a nutshell, I can divide by this bracket. I can divide by what? This bracket, and come here and divide by that bracket also. So everything inside this bracket will be cancelling out. Then I go and divide it also here. And so I'm waiting for the answer. Answer is 50,000. Okay. So our x is equals to 50,000. X is equals what? 50,000,05 cents. The question says we must calculate the value of X most, the initial deposit. So, yeah, 50,000 rands was deposited. And that's what we did. So that's the approach you will use to solve the question. Just add whatever is in this bracket, divide by itself, and go and divide it here also. Yeah? So here is simply into bracket 1 plus 0, 1, 2 over 12 to the power 84 plus 2 into bracket 1 plus 0, 1, 2 over 12 to the power 48. So this bracket will cancel that one, and we divide that also, and we get that 50,000. So the initial deposit in the account was what? 50,000 rands. X is equal to 50,000. And then we bring our lesson to an end. We shall talk more about finance and other questions tomorrow. So check me out.